We welcome you back into our second intermission. It's Billy's Breakdown, and we're going to break down this season, Billy. It has some defining moments, and it started early and often in the goal-scoring department for the Wolves in their 25th campaign.
Absolutely. I'll say defining is W, so all year long, very consistent. They were a team early on that could score goals with any team in the league. They won with offense, and the defense were spectacular at adding some of that offense. We're seeing a couple of guys now score some goals. There's Dylan Cogburn, we just saw Griffin Reinhardt, Nick Hague, and they've had spectacular years, especially the young guys, at putting the puck in the net. Certainly helped out. And I think that came at a good time. Why? Because he had 4 youngsters that were learning the pro game on defense. And what a change it has been at the end of the year, but offensively terrific. There is Daniel Carr in the middle with, of course, Brooks Masick and Gage Quinney. This line was phenomenal. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about them. Masick scoring at a pace of a goal a game, almost 76 in 76 games.
He was shooting at 40%.
40% at one time. It was unbelievable, the results, and it was consistent every game. They were doing damage, and it was fun to watch this line produce the way they had. The chemistry was phenomenal, and it happened so quickly. I mean, they were put together a couple of days, and all of a sudden they were the best line in the league.
When you tear up the American Hockey League, your parent team, the Vegas Golden Knights, take notice. And the first player selected for recall was Daniel Carr. And then the Wolves had to battle a lineup change for the first time this year.
Yeah, they really did. And I think they were set back. In fact, the Wolves, I believe it was 5 games without Carr, did not win a game. So that tells you something right there. But the scoring didn't dissipate. It continued on, and this guy just came to the forefront. Brandon Perry was unbelievable. He scored some goals that were phenomenal, and obviously he has a knack. He always has. He's a great shooter of the puck. He played with TJ Tynan, a guy that knows him well and set the table for him. Many games were like this where he was the first star with Tynan because of the ability that they did have. There's Daniel Carr. Yes, I mentioned the losses. He is back, and what a run the Wolves go on.
10-0-0-1.
Well, the difference, I think, with him in the lineup, that depth, you had 2 to 3 lines consistently that could score goals. You had a defensive core that was adding offense. How do you stop them? So the teams they were facing really had a tough time every game because of the offense. And the power play was so much fun to watch. Talk about the Harlem Globetrotters. There were just some pretty plays. There's Carr again with a beautiful goal. So hard to handle as an opposing team. You don't know what to do. The looks were all different, the variety, and pretty easy, really, the first few months with the scoring that they did have.
So towards the end of November and then into December, Brandon Perry was on a tear in the American Hockey League. He was summoned to Vegas, and you want to talk about continuing a tear. He scored 7 goals in his first 7 games on the recall, and that offense would soon be lost for the rest of the season here in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a shame. Again, we talked about him being the MVP of the league. Without a doubt, he was pulling away from everybody, really, in the American Hockey League with his scoring. He got the chance, and he did very well when he got that opportunity, and that's what we say about some of the young kids here in the American Hockey League with the Wolves. You get a chance, take advantage of it.
So with Perry going up, Tynan's looking for a couple of wingers, and boy, he seems to be magical this year with whoever it is.
Well, let's be honest, this poor guy, he's done so much for this team offensively, and he sent a couple of guys to the National Hockey League, but his new wingers, different. Hardcore, power forwards. Maybe not so much in the finesse department, but boy, can they battle around the net. And they did show us some spectacular hands around the net. Keegan Colasar, Curtis McKenzie, just a different look for TJ Tynan, but that line dominated every game. And they were spectacular when the Wolves needed the most. There's Tynan driving to the net. Of course, he doesn't score a lot. He doesn't shoot a lot. He is the playmaker of the team. And he did a heck of a job. And those guys gained so much confidence. The team remained a skilled team somewhat, but a team that couldn't be stopped. Keegan Colasar really came into his own, I think, in this latter half. Found his game with the help of confidence with the 2 veterans that he played with. And has 20 goals on the season now, and has been fun to watch.
Well, Billy, there was a stretch, February 1st, where the Wolves in a 12-game sequence only had 4 victories. February 2nd, they won, and they've been winning ever since. 20 victories in the last 30 games for Chicago. And maybe we've talked so much about the offense, it was the goaltender's turn to shine.
Well, that's the difficulty, I think, when you have situations that occur with trades, call-ups, injuries. As a coach, you don't probably think you're going to have to change the game plan very much, but the Wolves certainly did. But they needed the help of their two netminders, and those two guys just stood on their head. First of all, Max Lagacé was brilliant. Then in the last 6 weeks, Oscar Dansk has been the story, player of the week, and he has just stopped everything. He's given, again, that confidence level. The team in front knows he's going to be there to make the big stops. Not that you want to gamble, but you certainly know you have a chance to maybe make things happen on the offense because of that. And yeah, they got a new little beat going on there. Pretty nice dance with Lagacé and Dansk together. They're very good friends, which certainly helps this team out. But they have been terrific. And talking about the change, what a change defensively. Third best goals against average in the American Hockey League now. Not giving up many opportunities in at least the goal department, and still scoring enough to win.
You mentioned scoring, and we've gone over a laundry list of names that have stood out all season long, but also in the last 2 months, 3 players have really emerged from the bottom of the lineup to really keep things going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's a difficult situation for these young guys. You don't get a lot of ice time. Sometimes you don't dress, and when you do play, you might get a few minutes here and there. But there's no doubt Wagner, local product, has been really very good. I love the style he plays. Tough to play against. And Matthew Weiss went down to the East Coast Hockey League, played some games, really gained some confidence down there, played a lot of minutes, came back up, and what a great skater he's turned out to be. And another guy that is just hard on the puck. And then, of course, you sometimes have to make a deal yourself to get a little bit bigger. And Ty McGinn was brought in from Winnipeg, and he has been very good. Not only has he scored big-time goals, but he's been that power forward and a tougher guy when needed in the lineup. So congrats to him. Everyone's having a great time. Hopefully it will continue right into the playoffs.
Well, it has been a storybook, 76 games so far, and it will continue. And new players are probably going to have to step up in the postseason.